Good day, everybody. My name is Jeff Collins from ID Alliance, and welcome to another G7 Do-It-Yourself video series. Today, I'm going to show you a very critical process for collecting color data from a characterization target. So the tools that I need a measurement solution. Today, we're going to use X-Rite's iProfiler. I need a measuring device. Again, an X-Rite product, the iPro ISIS or I1 ISIS Excel 2. That's a mouthful. And that is an M1 measuring device, just meaning that it's capable of measuring M1. And so we're going to use a TC1617 characterization target. And this target is typically used to collect data to verify G7 grayscale tolerances, G7 target tolerances, as well as G7 color space tolerances. So why don't we get started? Again, I'm going to recap our tools here today for this demonstration. We're going to use an I1 ISIS 2 Excel and a TC1617 characterization target that has been printed on a press run. I've cut it out. I'm connected to my MacBook Pro. Of course, you can connect to a PC, iProfiler. The application we're going to use to measure the TC1617 works both on Mac OS as well as Windows. So to get started, I will go ahead and launch iProfiler. I do not have iProfiler licensed, but it doesn't mean I can't use it to measure charts. Typically, when I first launch iProfiler, I probably come up in basic mode. If you're in basic mode, you want to go to advanced. Again, that's basic and advanced. Make sure you're in advanced mode. And then over here in workflow selector, I can see I have a variety of workflows or features and functions that I can use. Some of them are in demo mode. If I had the full version, all of those would not be in demo mode. But you can see here that I have both measure chart and measure reference chart available. So I'll double click on measure reference chart. Again, advanced, measure reference chart. And then here I have nothing populated in the workflow because I haven't imported or loaded a workflow. A workflow will define the chart or type of chart that I'm going to measure and the device. So I could have a variety of workflows. Maybe I have an iPro 2 and then I want to read in a P2P25X, or I have an ISIS Excel and I want to read a IT874, or I have an IO table, etc. So I can pre-configure workflows, save them, and then load them in or share them with other people. So here we have load workflow, and then I'll navigate to my TC1617. And you can see here that I have a .rwxf file. So that's my workflow file for iProfiler. This particular folder, the ISIS TC1617, you can download from idalliance.org if you log in as a fellow, and just copy that onto your desktop wherever, decompress it, and you'll have a variety of files in here, the chart definitions, and then you'll have a PDF that'll explain what the chart is and why we're using it. So there you go. So I've loaded that. Let me go back and show you again. Load workflow, navigate to the folder containing the .rwxf file. We're going to use the TC1617 vertical. And again, I'm using an ISIS 2 Excel. Here it defaults to ISIS 2. Make sure I select that. And now I'm ready to begin measuring the target. So here you can see a display. I'll go ahead and show you the TC1617. The difference between this particular characterization target and the IT874 is that we have two additional ramps here, or this column here in the vertical version of this form. We have the black ramp and the CMY triplet. So these are used to determine whether or not you're in compliance to G7 gray balance or neutral print density aims. So again, this chart has the gray ramps needed for G7 essentially, and we still have all the different patches for the IT8. So all the patches that you find in the IT8 plus the G7. So this chart will allow me to verify G7 gray balance, G7 targeted, and G7 color space all from one chart. So let's go back to iProfiler. Next step, now that I have ISIS Excel loaded with the correct chart, the workflow, I can save. So let's go ahead and save that workflow. And to be careful, measurement workflow, so this defaults to this particular folder in iProfiler. You can see that I'm inside of the color space RGB. I want to navigate to the CMYK folder for the same measure reference workflow. So there I have color space CMYK. Let me show you where that's at again. In library application support, X-Write, you'll have a folder for iProfiler, and inside of there you have a variety of pre-installed folders. I want to select color space CMYK, measure reference workflow, and then I'll just type in TC1617 ISIS XL2 and save. Okay. So from here, I'll go back to home. Down here on the bottom left, you have these 4 icons. Home will take me back to my advanced screen. And then all the way down at the bottom, you'll see switch to save workflows. And there we have 2 already populated from an earlier demonstration. So I'll just double click on that, and you can see that now I have the chart loaded, TC1617, and my device. Make sure to go to ISIS to Excel. Then hit the little play button here on the far right next. So you see here that I have 2 measurement modes. Single scan mode, M2, where it will read a row in one pass, and then the dual scan mode, and this gives me the ability to save my data out as an M1 data set. Why M1? Well, the measurement file I'm going to use in a color audit to verify whether or not my press is meeting Grackle 2013 color space tolerances, grayscale, or targeted. So that, again, this chart will allow me to verify G7 grayscale tolerances, targeted tolerances, as well as color space. So let's begin measuring. If I do not have the measure button active, as you can see it is here, it typically means that I'm not connected to my device. So I need to check to make sure that when I have my instrument powered on and I have the USB cables properly seated. Sometimes I may need to reboot the PC, shut everything down, including the instrument, reboot, and then I can regain connectivity. So we'll go ahead and start measuring. So when I click measure, the ISIS light on the far right side of the device is a green flashing light when it's ready to take a measurement chart. If it's blue, it's calibrating or resetting itself. And if it's red, it means that either I've lost connectivity or I have an issue reading the chart. So I'm going to go ahead and slip the chart in to the device, and then it'll pick up, align the chart, and begin measuring the first row. Okay, so we finished measuring our entire TC1617 characterization chart, and you can see over here everything's populated in the patches that you have displayed. If I want to make another measurement, I can go ahead and do that. If I do, it'll write over what I've currently measured. I don't want to do that. Successful measurement, so I'm going to save this data set. Clicking save, And you can see that it defaults to this measurement folder. I'm going to navigate to where I keep my measurements right there. So in ABC Inkjet, on my desktop, I have a folder, TC1617 measurements. I have a variety of folders with readings already dumped there. And this is the way I'm organizing my data for this demonstration. Again, this is a TC1617, 1617, oh lordy, 1617. And this is ABC Inkjet press, whatever. And then there's the folder. And then I can now save it in a variety of different formats. CXF, tab delimited if I want to open this up in Excel. And of course I have different text formats. I could use that in Excel as well. And then we have iProfiler, CGAT, Spectral, and CLab. I'm going to save it out as spectral data. Either Profile Maker 5 or iProfile will be fine for this. So there we go. And now that I have it saved, I've measured in the TC1617 with an I1 ISIS 2. I'm looking at M1 data because I'm targeting an M1 data set. So now I can verify whether or not I'm pass or fail, or just to take a look at the current conditions. So in this case, we're doing a color audit. We just want to take a look at the current state of the device and how well it performs. So I'm going to go to Curve 4. Let me launch that in a new window. Then you can see here I have ABC Inkjet. And earlier I populated that. I'm going to delete that just to show you how to drop that file in. So the save measurement is here. And then we have ABC Inkjet, CXF. And then I have, and I'll just go to modified. There's the most recent measurement we just made. And then I'll just simply drag and drop this right into the measurement window with ABC Inkjet verification selected. And then iProfiler Spectral CGATS text file, my measurement data is now displaying correctly within Curve 4, so I can take a look at my performance on press in the current state. Obviously, there's some work to be done. This particular press run needs linearization, profiling, or there could be a problem with the color management settings. Let's say if we've already done that and then we take this read, we might want to look at the workflow settings within the color management options of the RIP or the digital front end to see if there's a problem there. But in any event, this is the current state of this device. So now I'm going to go to a solution called, this is again Curve 4 from Chromix. This is not a cloud-based solution. This is an installable application. Now I'm going to show you a similar process, which is verification with a cloud-based solution called Chroma Checker. And I'm already logged into Chroma Checker. I'm in the cloud using Chrome web browser. I'm going to click Print Inspector, and I have a track down here for Grackle 2013. There we are. There's the track 2013. And then in here, you can see right there is a little icon with a cloud and an arrow. So that will allow me to navigate to my desktop where my file is at. Again, desktop measurements, ABC Inkjet. And then there's my most current read. Same file I put in to Curve 4 to verify, I'm now going to bring in the Chroma Checker. And Chroma Checker has a different dashboard and definitely a different interface. So now that it's uploaded successfully, you can see that I'm targeting these references. Grackle 2013, CRPC6, V2. I have SCCA on, so that's substrate correction. I also have that, I believe, turned on. No, right here it's not turned on. So let's just show you. Go to 2013. So here we have color space tolerances, SCCA, and CGAT's CRPC6, Grackle 2013. And then if I come back over here to Chroma Checker, you can see I have very similar settings. Grackle 2006, SCCA on. And now I can look at how well I did. There's a variety of measurements in here that I've populated just, in my normal course of business, doing color management. And there is my current load, TC1617, ABC Inkjet M1. You can see here this red X means that I'm failing. I'm not going to go in depth to all the features in Chroma Checker. But you can see here G7, I failed that. Now I can drill in by hitting that little measurement tool. I'll come back. That little inspector or magnifying glass gives me the details of this particular measurement set. So here I have all the information that I've already discussed, and then I can go in and look. It's very, very detailed, specific information. I have primaries, overprints, and G7 conformance. If I want to get even more detail, I click in accuracy to target, and then I can see a variety of metrics and data. For instance, here I'm looking at my substrate because I have SCCA on. I'm pretty much guaranteed to pass there, right? And then I'm looking at my primary, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, overprints. I can go all the way down here and look at my G7 metrics or G7 conformance. So on the left, we have the CMY neutral print density ramp. And the green is good. The black is not so good. And then I have all of my pass-fail tolerances here. Okay, so again, that's Chroma Checker. That's Curve 4 using a measurement data set from a TC1617 with iProfiler and an i1 ISIS 2 Excel spectrophotometer. That's it. Thanks a lot. Take care.